23 ABC's Digital Update is brought to you by West Medical.
Good evening. Here are some of the top stories making headlines for today. The number of deaths from COVID-19 has soared past the 200 mark, with 17 more attributed to the virus. Now, these new fatalities were not in the last 24 hours, and health officials say it's not reported on the website until it's officially confirmed as COVID and put on the record. These 17 new deaths have pushed the number of fatalities in Kern County to 204 cases. Public Health also reporting 248 people hospitalized and more than 17,000 isolating from home. As for cases in Kern County, there's now nearly 25,900 people who have tested positive after 389 new cases were added to the list. Officials say more than 8,100 people have recovered, with the overall number of negative tests at more than 124,000. For a full breakdown, head to our website, turn23.com. President Donald Trump held a news briefing this morning to update the nation on the pandemic around the nation. He addressed the stalemate in Congress when it comes to the stimulus bill. The president said a lot of the country is running well, but says that some cities like Chicago and New York are doing horribly. He also added that he would accept $25 billion in funding for the U.S. Postal Service, including $1 billion in supplemental funding for election resources if Democrats concede to a series of funding asks for the COVID relief package. And a statewide flex alert has been issued for today, calling for Californians to help conserve electricity. It is a voluntary flex alert to help conserve energy during this anticipated heat wave. Officials say the state's power grid operator is predicting an increase in demand for electricity, primarily from residential air conditioning use. 23 ABC spoke with PG&E spokesperson Katie Allen regarding the alert, and she says this is something that is issued from the state's power grid when a strain on energy is happening or is going to happen. Residents and businesses are being asked to reduce their energy usage until 10 o'clock tonight.
And speaking of that heat wave, we are now in an excessive heat warning that's going to last through the weekend and actually not going to expire until Wednesday. It's possible that it might even get extended a little farther than that. That is for the Kern County Desert as well as the San Joaquin Valley. The mountains are not in that warning, but it's still going to be very, very hot in the mountains, as we'll see here. We're looking at about 104 at Lake Isabella tomorrow, closing in on the triple digits even in places like Tehachapi, 96 in Fraser Park. I'm going 107 for our high temperature in Bakersfield, 110 for Ridgecrest in China Lake. So some extreme heat building in. This is the kind of heat you really need to take seriously. Stay cool, stay indoors if you can. Heat illnesses occurring very quickly in conditions like this. Something else we're tracking, poor air quality, unhealthy for sensitive groups, kind of right in the middle of that category. Some haze, potential for a little bit of smoke from some of the wildfires to our south too, so we'll keep a close eye on that. In general, though, not a lot of good news in the forecast here. We're looking at triple digits as far as the eye can see, starting to fall back possibly by the time we get to Friday, but just 107 to 106 for the entirety of the forecast. Really, really hot here. Decent amount of humidity to contend with as well. Kern River Valley looking at 104 for Saturday and Sunday with some hazy conditions. Tehachapi looking at mid to upper 90s, and even Fraser Park staying very hot.
And those are some of the stories making headlines for today. Have a good evening.